Okay, this is the hip flexor stretch. What you're going to do is start in a lunge position, then push your hips forward and down, then lean your torso back. You are trying to expand the angle between your thigh and your torso on the front. And the stretch will be across the front of the pelvis on your target side. Obviously you want to do both sides. This is a very important stretch. Hip extension is the joint movement that provides the most force for your athletic movements like running and jumping. Your hip flexor performs the opposite movement. If this muscle is tight, it's going to limit the speed of your hip extension and thus limit your jumping and running. So very, very important stretch. Here we have the rectus femoris stretch. Again, start in a lunge. And this time, first flex your knee and pull up your foot with your hand. Then, just like the hip flexor stretch, you're going to push your hips forward and then lean your torso back. You should feel the stretch on the front of your thigh. The rectus femoris is a quadricep muscle, so it attaches down on your shin bone, but it also runs up all the way across your hip and attaches to your pelvis. Now, because it crosses both of those joints, you have to both flex the knee and extend the hip in order to stretch it. Now, a lot of people have never stretched this muscle, so it's very commonly a tight muscle, and probably the most common cause of jumper's knee is tightness in the rectus femoris. So if you have any kind of pain in your patellar tendon, start this stretch, see if it doesn't do a lot for you. If you are on a hard surface while you're doing this stretch, you might find that while you're getting into position, you might put some pressure on your kneecap. That'll hurt really, really bad. So if you're on a hard surface, it's good to just use a chair or a bench or a box or something, anything that you can use that's high enough to keep your knee off the ground. It's also important to stretch the rest of your quad muscles. So you can use your typical standing quad stretch. You're going to flex your knee as far as it can go. Most people know this stretch. Most will be able to touch their heel to their butt. And you may not even feel much of a stretch doing that. To make it better, you're going to dorsiflex your ankle and then try to pull your leg out of the stretch, but not actually allow it to move at all.